Hey guys, today I have a big, huge bin of empties to share with you. It actually doesn't look that full, but there's a lot in here. This is just a very big bin. But this is basically everything that I've finished in the spring, so over the last 3 months. I actually have a lot of makeup this time, skincare, hair care, a little bit of everything. So let's just get right into it, and I'm just gonna pick something at random and see what it is. I feel like that's more fun. Ooh, okay, so we have a mascara. This is the Rimmel Scandalized Mascara. I did not like this. It's actually been a long time since I used this up. This just didn't really do much for my lashes. They call it a volumizing mascara. It definitely didn't give me that much volume. If anything, it was more lengthening than volumizing, but I just felt like it didn't do anything that remarkable for my lashes, and I also felt like the brush was just way too big. Like, it just does not need to be this big. Yeah, I didn't like that. I obviously would not repurchase it. And then the one that I just retired today, this is the Tarte Maneater mascara. I am wearing this one on my top lashes today. I didn't like this either. I just had the mini size. Actually, this mini did last me over 2 months of just about daily use. I did like the brush on this. It's a rubber bristle brush, which is usually what I prefer. My biggest issue with this mascara is that it would smudge on me. Like, sometimes even within just like an hour of having it on, I would already have smudges under my eye. So for that reason alone, I wouldn't get this one again. I really like the Milani highly rated anti-gravity mascara, and that one is drugstore. It doesn't smudge on me, and that one does have a rubber bristle style brush if you are looking for one with that type of brush. I think that one is the way to go. I wouldn't personally get this one again. Ooh, okay, I finished up another of the Cocoa Kind Resurrection Polypeptide Cream. I love this moisturizer. This is one of my favorite moisturizers that I've ever tried. This is the second one of these that I've used up. This is such an interesting formula for a moisturizer. It has like almost like a stretchy texture to it. Like when you, I don't have any here to show you, but it sort of like, when you pick it up, it kind of stretches like putty or something. And this just feels so deeply moisturizing, like very rich. I think this is a great moisturizer, especially if you have very dry skin or sensitive skin. My skin loved this. I just feel like this is so repairing to my skin, like especially applying it at night. When I wake up in the morning, my face is just so like plump and dewy, and just my skin is just always happier when I'm using this. So ever since I used this up, I've really been missing it. I'm looking forward to getting it again at some point. Okay, this is my new go-to shampoo. I actually have another one of these already in the shower that's also almost done, but this is the Dove Dryness and Itch Relief Anti-Dandruff Shampoo. This is the best anti-dandruff shampoo I have tried. So many medicated shampoos like this will, you know, even if they're helping my scalp, they dry out my actual strands so badly. This one does not. Even though it does feel like it's deeply cleansing my scalp, it doesn't dry out my hair at all. Also doesn't have a weird smell like a lot of dandruff shampoos does. It just smells really clean and fresh. So I love this. I already have another one in my shower that's actually almost done, and I will be repurchasing it. This is the one I use just about every single time I wash my hair. I lather it up and then I leave it on my scalp for at least a minute or two, just while I go about, like, you know, I'll wash my body and then rinse out my hair after this has sat there for a few minutes. I almost treat it like a scalp mask. And that's what a lot of dermatologists recommend. And that just helps the active ingredient really get in there and do its job. So that's how I use it. And of course, most importantly, it is really effective at reducing dandruff. So highly recommend that. That is one of my favorite discoveries of the year. Okay, a hair product that I would not repurchase. This is the Kristen S Daily Scalp and Hair Mask. So this is like a deep conditioner that they say you can also put on your scalp. I did try it on my scalp once. I decided that wasn't for me. I think maybe if you have like a really dry scalp, that might help, but I have a very oily scalp, so I don't need a whole lot of hydration up there. But as a hair mask or like a deep conditioner, I thought this was just okay, and Nathan and I both used this and we both agreed it was very inconsistent. Like, I would say about half the times that I used this, I really liked what it did for my hair. Like, I felt like it made my hair nice and soft and shiny, but then the other 50% of the time, my hair would be just dry. I was like, did I even use conditioner at all? Like, it's like it did nothing. So it was just a little too inconsistent for me to want to repurchase it. I really want to like Kristen S products. I've only tried a handful of things, and it seems like they're pretty hit or miss. The one thing I do like is the dry shampoo powder. I do like that. This was just okay, and then I've also tried like a clarifying shampoo from them I did not like at all. So I don't know, if you have any Kristen S favorites, let me know, because I really want to give them more chances. Like, I love the price point and I think the packaging looks cool. which is a dumb reason to want to try a brand, but you know. If you have any Kristen S favorites, let me know, because I would like to give them another chance, but I just haven't been super impressed by the things I've tried. Speaking of hair, I also used up this Overtone Rose Gold Coloring Conditioner. So I didn't use the Rose Gold on its own. I mixed it with a few other things. I've done a few different concoctions. I've mixed this Rose Gold with the Overtone Ginger. I also have like a Garnier color depositing mask that I've added in there. Now I have some from ColourPop, so I'm usually, you know, mixing a few different ones together, but I think these are really fun if you want to try out a different hair color but you don't want to commit to like dyeing your hair permanently. I think it's a really fun way to try out different colors. I think it's going to depend a lot on your hair type, how long it's going to last. For me, when I used just Overtone, when I mixed Rose Gold and Ginger and that was it, I only got about 4 washes out of that before my hair was pretty much completely back to its original color. But then I've also heard from some people that the color is still in their hair like months after, like trying to get it out, and it just won't come out. So it seems to really depend. It probably also depends on the color that you're using. I have actually found I prefer the ColourPop color depositing masks. They're the Main Event is what they're called. They're a little bit more affordable than Overtone, but knowing ColourPop, they're probably going to discontinue those at some point. So if they do, I would definitely consider going back to Overtone. And I would recommend, if you want to make the color last a little bit longer, Overtone does also sell like a maintenance conditioner. So you could get the Rose Gold mask and the conditioner, and then the conditioner you can just use in place of your daily conditioner, and it just helps to prolong the color a little bit. So that's what I would recommend if you do want to do this. Otherwise, it's going to get very expensive, you know, to have to do it over and over again, like once a week. It looks like a big tub, but you do go through this pretty quickly because you have to use a lot at one time to cover all of your hair. So that was my experience with Overtone. I think it's a really cool product. Next up, we have one of my favorite cleansing balms. This is the Instant Cleansing Balm from Good Molecules. I think this is the second one of these that I've gone through. I am really picky with my cleansing balms, but this one really works well for me. It removes all my eye makeup. It does emulsify. When you add water, it just rinses right off. So one of my favorites. I would definitely recommend this one if you're in the market for a slightly more affordably priced cleansing balm. I think it's around $15. All right, so next up I have this Tree Hut Tropic Glow Sparkling Gel Wash. This is the body wash. This actually, I think they released this somewhat recently. It's meant to be a dupe, or the scent is meant to be a dupe for the Sol de Janeiro Boom Boom Cream, you know, that famous scent. And I do think this smells pretty similar actually, especially straight out of the bottle. Once you're kind of lathering it up, I do feel like it smells a little bit different. Like it's not an exact dupe of the Sol de Janeiro, but it's pretty close if you like that kind of caramely, warm, tropical sort of scent. I didn't feel like the scent would linger on my skin as long as I would expect it to, especially because a lot of the Tree Hut body scrubs, I do feel like those leave a lingering scent behind. This scent would linger for maybe like a couple of hours, but after that, you know, you're not going to really smell it on your skin. And other than the scent, it really just works like just any other shower gel. I didn't really think there was anything that special about it, but I enjoyed it, and I did feel like the bottle actually lasted a nice long time. All right, I actually have 2 cleansers from Paula's Choice. This first one is covered in cat hair. This is the Ultra Gentle Cleanser. I didn't use this on my face because this does lather just ever so slightly. It doesn't have a ton of lather, but for me, I prefer like a non-foaming cream cleanser on my face. So actually what I used this for was on my upper back. If you ever have body acne, like back knee or like acne on your chest, one thing I always do as kind of like the last step of my shower routine after I've rinsed out my conditioner from my hair, I will cleanse like my upper back and chest with just any face cleanser. So if I ever have a face cleanser that I don't want to use on my face, I'll just use it on my body that way. And I do feel like it really helps to cut down on back knee, especially because sometimes I do think conditioners can like almost leave a film and you don't even realize it like on your upper back, and that can further clog pores up there. I'm sure you could also just use your body wash or soap for that, but sometimes I think face cleansers do a better job just because usually face cleansers are meant to unclog pores and just like remove impurities. So I do think it does something, and that is what I used this for. This cleanser though, I did use on my face. So this is the Paula's Choice Resist Optimal Results Hydrating Cleanser. I actually strayed from my usual Paula's Choice cleanser when I got this. Normally I get the Skin Recovery Softening Cream Cleanser in the red bottle, but I decided to try this one just because I just wanted to see if there was a big difference. Honestly, I feel like they're both so similar, but the skin recovery one that I normally get is actually cheaper, so that's the one I'm gonna continue getting from now on. But I did enjoy this. It worked just as well for me. I feel like it does effectively cleanse my skin, even though it doesn't suds up, and it doesn't leave my skin feeling stripped or dry. So I enjoyed it, but I think you can save a few dollars and get the skin recovery one, and that one also comes in a value size. The regular size is already cheaper than this Resist one, but the value size, like if you break down the cost per ounce, it's even cheaper. It's almost like a drugstore price. So that's the one that I ended up repurchasing instead of this. Let's get to some of this makeup. I have a lot more makeup in here. I did finish up a lipstick. This is the CoverGirl lipstick in the shade Honeyed Bloom. I've had this for a long time, so it was nice to get this done, but I really enjoyed this lipstick. I'm not sure if they're still selling this formula or this shade, because anytime I try to link it, it seems like it's kind of hard to find, at least this shade now, but I really enjoyed this formula. It's a very creamy, buttery feeling lipstick. It's definitely not long wearing at all, but it just feels nice and nourishing on the lips. And the shade of this was a really pretty, just neutral, soft pink shade. A little bit more pink than a lot of the nudes that I typically wear, but I really enjoyed this color. I don't think I would repurchase it just because, you know, it wasn't like my favorite lipstick ever, but I really enjoyed it while I had it. Oh, by the way, this down here, I always get questions if this bottom part comes off, because with some lipsticks you can pop off this bottom part and there's actually like extra lipstick down in there. This one does not come off though, just in case you're wondering. I finally finished the Halo Glow setting powder. This is my favorite loose setting powder. I really miss it now that it's gone. I will be repurchasing it. I had the shade Light, which is really just a translucent color. I don't know what they did with this powder, but it is incredible. It doesn't look powdery or heavy on my skin. It doesn't make my makeup oxidize either. Sometimes loose powders will do that. This one did not. It just strikes that perfect balance between setting your makeup without looking heavy or powdery, and also without making your face look lifeless and flat. And even though they call it the Halo Glow powder, it doesn't have any sort of like sheen or sparkle to it or anything like that. It just, there's just something magical about it that it's almost like it gives like just a very soft filter to your face. It's amazing. So highly recommend this if you haven't tried it. I cannot wait to have another one of these. Ooh, this I really liked. This is the Makeup Revolution Fix and Glow Dewy Finish Setting Spray, or Fixing Spray. This was amazing. I might repurchase this, but I might try something else first, just because I kind of want to try something new, but I really enjoyed this. To me, this is like a cross between a glowy fixing spray and a setting spray. It does contain denatured alcohol. You know, a lot of setting sprays do have that ingredient. I didn't find this to dry out my skin, but I think because it has denatured alcohol in it, in some ways I did feel like this helped to just lock in my makeup and prolong the wear of my makeup a little bit, but it also just gives such a beautiful luminous finish to your makeup. You can't see it now because it's empty, obviously, but it does have like a little bit of shimmer to it when you shake it up. At first I wasn't sure if I would like that, but I didn't feel like the shimmer actually translated onto my skin as shimmer. It really just kind of gave my skin, it just kind of brought life back to my skin. If I felt like my skin was a little bit too dry looking, powdery looking, this would just sort of mesh everything together and give my skin just a really pretty, glowy but not too shiny finish. So I highly recommend that. It does have a strong scent though, has like a tropical scent. I like the scent, so I found it enjoyable, but if you are sensitive to scents, just be aware of that. Speaking of scents, this had a very strong scent, and I actually got kind of tired of the scent after a while, but this is the Sol de Janeiro Milky Leave-In Conditioner. So really, I think with any Sol de Janeiro hair product, body product, you're really just paying for the scent, because I don't feel like the products actually are that great. I would just use this mainly as a heat protectant. So if I was getting ready to heat style my hair, I would just put some of this in first. So sometimes I would use it on wet hair if I was blow drying my hair, or sometimes I would use it on dry hair. And it worked fine for both, but I didn't feel like it was anything special. But the scent of this is so strong. I would, like, normally I wash my hair either every day or every other day, and even if I were to stretch it even longer, I think the scent would continue to linger in my hair. So you have to really like this scent. But I felt like I actually, after a while, got kind of tired of smelling this. So if you want something that's going to leave behind a long-lasting fragrance in your hair, this is great. But otherwise, I don't think it's anything that remarkable as just a leave-in conditioner. I think there are plenty of good leave-in conditioners that are cheaper. But this I just got as like a Sephora point perk. Speaking of Sephora Point Perks, another little mini hair product I got, I also wouldn't purchase this. This is the Oribe Dry Texturizing Spray. I don't know. I mean, I'm not that picky when it comes to texture sprays, so I feel like I might as well just go with a drugstore one. I know Oribe is pretty pricey, if I remember correctly, so I don't think I would spend the money on this. I don't know, I just didn't think it did anything that great. Like, it didn't give my hair that much volume or that much lasting texture, and I'm not crazy about the scent either. I mean, it smells good, but you know, I don't know. If I were to get a high-end texturizing spray, I would get the Dry Bar Triple Sec. That one I like a lot better than this one. But this would feel almost kind of heavy and gritty in my hair, which I know is kind of what a texture spray is supposed to do, but I prefer the Dry Bar one because it's just a little bit more lightweight than this. Alright, the last little mini hair product here. This is from R&Co. I think this is the only R&Co product that I've ever tried, but this is their High Dive Moisture and Shine Cream, so also kind of basically a leave-in conditioner. I loved the scent of this, first of all. This smells so good. And I did feel like this scent would linger in my hair for a long time, but it's not quite as strong to me as the Sol de Janeiro one. And I just find the scent, I don't know, it's a very light, clean, fresh scent. And I would also use this in the same way that I use that Sol de Janeiro or any leave-in conditioner. I would just essentially just use it as a heat protectant. And, you know, it did the trick. So I don't know if I would go out of my way to purchase the full size because I know it's expensive, but I did enjoy this little mini while I had it. I also am retiring this EcoTools Bio Blender. This is one of my favorite sponges. It's kind of just the one that I repeatedly have repurchased. The nice thing about this is that it is biodegradable, so you can compost it when you're done with it. The downside though is that it does tear pretty easily. Like after 2 or 3 washes, you're gonna start to have a few little tears. I keep using it, you know, until it's like, this one has gotten really bad, but I've probably washed this like 10 times now, but it's got quite a few tears in it. But I don't really mind that. I don't feel like it affects the effectiveness of the sponge, so and I do like that I'm able to compost it, so I definitely do plan to repurchase this. I think this is probably the 3rd or 4th one of these sponges that I've used. Alright, we're getting down to the end. A few more makeup things. So this is the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Gel. There is a little bit left in here, but I am calling it done because I broke the wand. The wand just snapped right off of the lid when I was digging around in there one time. And a lot of you actually told me that the same thing happened to you. So if you do have this, just be careful not to be too rough with it. Mine was getting really dried out, so I think I was just going a little too hard, but I actually have continued to use it after that happened though. The wand is actually down in there, and I would just squeeze it until it would come out, and then I could pull it out and use it just like a spoolie. But it's getting really dried out, and I think it's time to retire this. But I really loved this brow gel. I would say this was a pretty life-changing brow gel for me, not to be dramatic, but I had the shade Cool Blonde, and the nice thing about this is that for me, it actually works to fill in my brows. It has enough pigment to be able to do that, and it also has really, really strong hold compared to every other brow gel I've tried. I mean, I do actually have this in my brows today. I used it for the last time today, and it really does like glue your brows down. Now the trade-off to that is it is kind of thick and sticky, as the name suggests, and if you apply too much, it can look a little bit gloopy in your brows, and it can look kind of obvious that you have product in your brows if you're not careful. But as long as I'm careful not to apply too much, you really just need like 1 spoolie's worth of product per brow. You don't want to go dipping back in there multiple times because you're going to just get too much and it's going to look really heavy and like sticky in your brows. So you just have to be careful not to apply too much. But I love that it keeps my brows in place all day, and I love that I can just use a brow gel as like my standalone brow product if I want to. I feel like it looks a little bit more natural than a brow pencil or pomade. So I really enjoyed this. I do plan to repurchase it. I also finished up 2 lip liners. One of these I have already repurchased, the Kokie lip liner in Nude. This is my favorite nude lip liner. It is just the perfect like light brown nude that's not too orangey brown. It's just a very nice neutral brown. It just goes with so many nude lip products that I have, and I love the Kokie formula because it's very long wearing. Like, this is a truly waterproof formula. Like, it will not budge. So if you're looking for a good long wearing lip liner, I love these. I think these are so underrated. And then this one is from Urban Decay. You might remember I had this in my Project Pan earlier this year. This is their 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil in the shade Manic. I liked this, but I wouldn't repurchase. I don't think I would even repurchase any of the Urban Decay lip pencils because I just think the drugstore makes so many great lip pencils. It's one of those products that you really don't need to spend high-end prices on. This shade was pretty. It was like just a nice mid-toned rosy shade. But I don't find myself using this type of shade for lip liner all that often, so I actually ended up using this up mostly as a blush. If you have any lip liners that you don't really like on your lips for whatever reason, try them as a blush. You can just put some on the back of your hand and pick it up with any brush that you would use for cream blush, and it makes a really nice long-wearing blush color. This I would not repurchase. This is a sunscreen from Wamisa. I just had the little mini size of this. This is their Organic Flowers Sun Cream. It's a mineral sunscreen. This is just kind of what you'd expect from a mineral sunscreen. Like, it was very thick and sticky and shiny. It left a white cast. It was hard to blend in. I didn't really like anything about this. I mainly just used it up because it was a very small tube and I didn't have much left, so I was just like, alright, let's just go ahead and finish it. But I was very glad to be done with this. The last thing in here is very random, but this is another Blueland product. I've just been slowly reviewing all the Blueland cleaning products that I've tried over the last year. And I think this is the last one that I have not reviewed yet, but we did finally finish the powder dish soap. This is just the little pouch that it comes in, but you put it in this like shaker bottle that you can reuse, and then this is just the refill. I don't think powder dish soap is really my preferred delivery method for dish soap. It would kind of get in the air when you'd shake it out of the bottle onto your sponge or dish brush, whatever you're using. Some of the powder would like fly into the air and I would end up inadvertently inhaling some of it and it would make me cough. And I don't think it's good to be inhaling dish soap. So I didn't really enjoy that. I was kind of glad to be done with it. It did a good job otherwise, but I also felt like sometimes it was hard not to waste some of it because I would either pour too much out on my sponge or some of it would end up falling off the sponge. Yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of an odd style of dish soap for me. I didn't love it, but that's that. Yeah, really overall, I didn't love really any of the Blueland products. I do like their hand soaps though. I actually have been repurchasing their hand soap tablets. So that's really the only thing from Blueland that I would recommend. The cleaning products were okay. Some of them smell kind of weird and I just didn't feel like they were the most effective at cleaning. So those are all of my empties. Always just a mixed bag. You just never know what you're gonna get in my empties videos. Dish soap, makeup, everything in between. But I hope you guys enjoyed hearing these little bite-sized reviews on all of the products that I've finished up recently. Thank you so much for hanging out today. I hope you had fun. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do also have a Patreon and a channel membership if you'd like to support my channel further. Otherwise, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day and I will talk to you again very soon in my next video. Bye!